Man, am I glad to have Julius Caesar on with me from Rome. All right,
Man,
so
I can't
please give an
elaborate.
introduction about yourself.
Well, my name is Caesar. I am 22 years old, and I am a student in the e-commerce campus in the real world,
Ready to conquer the world.
ready to conquer the world.
Easy. All right. How did you find out about the real world?
Well, just like most people, I was scrolling social media one day, and honestly, I was just very, very tired of being broke. All my friends are still broke, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. Checking my bank account while going to the store, being like, "Oh, can I afford this? Can I afford that?" And then I was scrolling and I saw Tate talking about the real world, and he was talking about how it's a great money making opportunity, and to those people that never give up. And I instantly saw that trade in myself because I never give up with anything, so I knew that I would make it in the real world. So I joined. I watched the 2 lessons, and money started rolling in really like very fast.
Very solid. I like the self confidence.
Thank you.
Now, what were you expecting when you actually joined the real world, and was it different from your expectations?
Honestly, at the very beginning, what I knew about it was my friends were kind of chatting to each other about, and they were all telling me that it was a scam and that he's just Tate trying to steal $50 from people. And I was just thinking about it logically. How can a guy that's, I think he's a billionaire now, how could he want to steal $50 from a couple of people? It doesn't make any sense. So like many things in life, I just gave it a try, and I said, if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. So I joined, and the rest is history, really.
Okay. Now, I do want to go chronological order. Okay, so you join. What campuses did you get into?
Well, first I joined, and then there's like a quiz that pops up. It tells you to answer a couple questions, and based on that, it tells you which campus you should join. So, like many things, I just kind of get right into it really fast. So I just did the quiz, and the quiz told me to join the e-commerce campus. I instantly joined and started going to the lessons and doing the work. I didn't think
Solid.
about it that much.
Very solid. Okay. Then, as you're going through the material within the real world, why couldn't you have just found the same lessons on the internet and done what you're doing now? How different is the material within the real world compared to it?
It's very, very different. So the thing about the real world that's very, very good is you have access to a community, to professors, to captains, and these guys are dropping value bomb after value bomb after value bomb. And if you were to get this information online and try to YouTube all of this, you would just get a bunch of conflicting information, people saying a lot of anecdotal stuff. Oh, this worked for me, this worked for me. But here you have proven strategies, proven courses, things that will make you money as long as you are consistent and you stay with it and you never give up. That's extremely important because if you just join and you have a mindset that, oh, this is just a side hustle, it's going to take you really, really long time to get anything done. You need to join and just work extremely hard and understand that the courses and everything that's being taught here, it's proven to work. It's proven by my millionaires. So that's why I knew instantly that this was it.
Very solid. Now, I would like to go on a tangent here because your mindset seems to have a very iron mind. Let's just call it that. Easiest way to put it. Have you always had that, or is it more recently that you developed it? And even articulating yourself seem to be doing quite well. So, where does that come from? And is it more recent, or again from something you always had?
I think I've always had a drive to want to achieve something. I never wanted to just be very average. I didn't like the idea of that. And just recently, when Tate started uploading to social media and talking about how his life was, what he went through, lessons to men, all these things, it really, really resonated with me. And I thought that he was just speaking the truth, really. And that's when I knew that when he made an university, I mean, I had to at least give it a try. And
Mhm.
but when it comes to my mentality and all of that, I've always kind of had it. And it's weird when you have a mentality like this because you're never gonna meet people that also have it. It's very, very rare. And I have actually I have two friends that have the exact same mentality as me. Only two out of the 100 plus people that I'm quote unquote friends with. So when you have a mind like this, it's hard to find people that resonate with you. But if you join the real world, you are going to find so many people that think exactly like this. And even in the real world, there's still people that are kind of, they're on the fence. They're kind of just joining. They need motivation. They need guidance. And I when I find someone that doesn't need any of that, he just gets to work instantly. He doesn't need motivation. I just know instantly, okay, this is one of the guys that I need to connect with.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about the real world, just the community aspect of it.
And as you progress, you're also more likely to meet people who are like-minded. Because I believe I saw you from the applying for advanced chat, right? How's the advanced chat within the e-commerce campus? Is it useful to you?
Man, it's as I said earlier, these guys, the captains, the professor, some of the students, these guys are dropping value bomb after value bomb after value bomb, and it's just, if you're not in there, if you aren't progressing, you're never gonna find these. They're not really magic pills, but they're kind of how you should be thinking about e-commerce, how you should be working, your work ethic, right? Little tips and tricks, so to speak. And when you implement these things, you can really take it to the next level. And that's really what's great about things in the real world, like the advanced chat, is you get to really not really have a one-on-one with the professor or the captains, because you never really get one-on-ones, but you do get to add them in the chat. They respond to your questions. They talk about your specific incident, which is great. If you, for example, one of my friends paid, I believe it was $2,000 for a course on how to do marketing. I believe he paid, and he never got one-on-one talking to a person. He just kind of got a course where he was just given, okay, here's some information, learn from that, and you'll make money. But he's made nothing. He's just still just a brokey. So when I saw that in the real world, you can talk to the professors and the captains, I knew instantly, okay, this has to be some really really good. And then our e-commerce professor is probably one of the brightest minds I've met ever. I mean, his lessons are top notch. He's doing knowledge hub lessons, with mindset and work ethic for life, and it's really helped me in my e-commerce journey.
Very good. Okay, love to hear that. Then, speaking of your e-commerce journey, how much is it that you've actually earned since starting e-commerce?
Well, I've made about $50,000 in revenue, and it's been 2.5 months of running ads and 3 months inside the e-commerce campus. But the
Mhm.
real profit is around $15,000, so around about a 30% margin, which is a really really good profit margin in e-commerce. And it wasn't at the very beginning. It started very very slowly, because in e-commerce you have to make your store first, you have to make your ads first, all of that stuff, and finding a product, all of that takes a lot of time at the beginning, and you need to do it properly, and you need to put in the work consistently every single day, every hour. I mean, I wake up, I literally just eat, and then I get to work. I mean, I just work all day, and then I go to the gym, and then I come back home, I work and I sleep, and I just repeat it every single
Mhm.
day, and nothing changes. And you really need a strong will and a mindset like that to make it, if you want to make it fast. I knew that I wanted to make it very very quickly. I don't want to sit around and let money kind of just waste away. I want to, if there's an opportunity, I need to take it, and I need to take it fast. So I knew that I had to work every single day consistently in order to achieve that. And I feel like that's how I managed to achieve the results that I've received this quickly, is because I just put in the work consistently and utilize speed. Speed is an extremely important lesson that Tate actually was teaching inside of the real world, and it really really resonated with me, and it helped me just blow up my business.
Or how different is your average day now then compared to before you joined the real world? How different did it look? Was there a difference?
Well, I'm actually in university right now. I have another half year, and then I have my bachelor's degree. And then, well, back in the day, before I joined the real world, I would just, it would be the same, but with more schoolwork. And I would just go to the gym. I mean, gym has always been a part of my life. And then I would just play video games for the free time that I had. I would just waste my time in front of some video game. And the reason for that, I think, is because we have this thing inside of us where we need to conquer,
Mhm.
right? We need to do better than others. We want to achieve something, get the feeling of that. And video games, what it does is it literally tricks your brain into thinking that you are achieving something meaningful. So I was like, okay, I'm doing better than this guy, or oh, I've got the thing that this guy doesn't have, so I'm better than him. But in reality, you're just competing for pixels against other people that you don't even know. So when I started doing business, what I realized was business was literally the exact same thing, but instead of putting in the work to improve your virtual character, you are improving your real world character. And by that, you get money. So, like, what I did was I just rewired my brain to get dopamine from getting money and seeing Shopify notifications instead of instead of giving myself dopamine from improving my character or improving my whatever in some video game. And that's really what changed everything for me when I joined the real world.
Right. Very solid. And speaking of what you just said, you're living proof of, again, what you can accomplish when you cut all of that out and purely focus on the work. And along those lines, what do you have to say to people who call what you're doing excessive, working so much, and you need time to relax?
Yeah, I get this all the time, and it's crazy because even my family have been doing this, and they're like, "Oh, you're working too much, and you should be taking time to relax." There's this thing like a life work balance. You need to enjoy the finer things in life. I've heard this so much, and it's over and over. And I think it's all just bullshit because at the end of the day, if you have that mindset of, "Oh, I'm just gonna do easy things and get quick enjoyment," what's gonna happen is you're gonna end up in some 9 to 5 slavery. You're going to just work until you die, and then like that's it. It's just gonna get super super like super boring. You're never going to achieve anything with your life. I just like the thought of that. It doesn't make me happy. It makes me kind of sad to think that some people can just live a life like that and then cope by saying, "Oh, I have a good work-life balance," or "Oh, I take blah blah blah." Like I have so many friends that just waste away doing dumb stuff like drinking, smoking, all that dumb shit, and it's just like I never understood how you can do all of that with a good conscience and think to yourself, "Oh, I am a good person," or in front of God, I am a good person, or I've achieved something great. Like, no, man, you haven't done anything. You're just one in a billion or one in whatever, and nobody cares about you. And I just don't understand how you can live like that. So when people tell me you need to take it, you need to relax, you need to have a work life balance, I just usually I just agree with them and say like, "Oh yeah, true." And then in my head, I don't really care about them. I just kind of flush them out and keep going. Because if you
Mhm.
disagree with them, they're gonna start being like, "Oh no, you need to do this, you need to do that." And I have too many problems with my own business. I can't really bother to argue with the brokies. Their mindset is just fucked.
That just reminds me of a meme. It's like uh, something like "Don't argue with fools," and then someone says, "I disagree," and then the person says, "You are right," or like something like that. Anyway, just random.
It makes
But there
total
you go.
sense. It makes total sense. Trust me, it makes total sense because if you waste your time disagreeing with these fools, they're just going to drag you down to their level. And it's like
Mhm.
when I was starting to
And
make,
beat you with experience.
yeah. The thing is,
Yeah, Carol.
when I joined the real world, I was starting to see results very quickly, right? And I was telling my friends, "Yo, guys, you need to join this. You need to put in the work. This really really works." And I was sending them screenshots or pictures of, "Oh, this is how many sales I did today. I got this much in revenue." But they would just end up like either just saying, "Oh, you're just scamming people," or "Oh, this is all just a trick," and all that stuff. Because the reason that they say these sorts of things isn't because they inherently hate you. They just do it because inside of their head they have to manage to cope with it because they see your success and you see that you have achieved it so very quickly, and the only real way that they can cope with it is just saying, "Oh, he's just scamming people. Oh, he's on steroids. Oh, he does nothing." And it's just when they say the sorts of things to you, it drags you down to their level in their head, and therefore they can get some quick dopamine off of you or whatever. So I
Mhm.
quickly realized who were my real friends when I started making progress and started sending progress screenshots to my friends. I quickly realized which of them had the iron will mindset that I also have. So that's also another thing that the real world has helped me with.
Solid. Okay. And now, what would you say was the biggest challenge you faced when you were implementing lessons from the ecom campus?
Well, at the beginning, it was mostly just the challenge was to get the time to actually do it because see, I was working two jobs. I was working at 7-Eleven and I was working at McDonald's. So in between those jobs, I would have like a 2 or 3 hour break and I would go to the gym. And after that, I would go, for example, to McDonald's and work until 2 or 3 a.m. when we close. Then I would come back home and work with the real world. So when I was going through the courses, I was really, really tired and, I had to just push and push and push. But the actual content that's there is just it's so good and it's so easy to follow. I mean, the professor made it so dumb people proof that you can't possibly do a mistake or a massive thing that's just like, oh, I fucked up and I lost this much money. That's only if you're really, really dumb. Because he says explicitly, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Keep testing. You're gonna find something, and that's it. It just as e-commerce is an extremely simple business model. It's not easy. It's actually very hard, and you need to put in a lot of work. But it's extremely simple because there's some specific steps that you just need to follow, and as long as you follow them, you're gonna see success. And the captains in the campus are a perfect example of this. I've only been in the campus for 3 months, and so I don't know these guys long term. But from what I've heard, they've only been here for a year or something, and they started from nothing, and now they're making a lot of money. So they not only are they extreme value bombs, but they are also very, very well motivational, so to speak. I don't really believe in motivation, but when I see what they have achieved, it kind of sparks the flame that I have, and I want to keep going every single time.
Mhm. A very good example of, again, masculine competitive spirit within you, which you're using for the positive. Good. Then, since you're on this trajectory, where do you see your life heading in the short term, medium term, and long term?
Well, right now I want to finish university, get my bachelor's degree, and use that to get a 9 to 5 job. And the reason for that is I want to get take money from the 9 to 5 and just reinvest into e-commerce so I can scale my business. But currently, I'm already doing really well. I don't want to drop out or something like that because the problem with e-commerce is until you build a brand, it's not exactly a stable business model. So when you're just testing stuff, one day it can be super well and then another day it can be super bad. So you never want to end up in a situation where you don't have money for food or for living. And I've lived in really bad circumstances, so I know how it is to not have money for, essential stuff for like bread and milk and stuff. So I don't want to end up in a situation like that, especially because my parents are not very they don't have a lot of money, so they can't exactly help me if I don't have a safety net. So I can't drop out of university. But because of my iron will and mindset, I'm never going to struggle in school. I've never struggled in school. I think school is extremely easy because they just lay it out for you: one, two, three, do this, put in the time, and then you're going to get good grades. So after I finish now my bachelor's degree, I'm going to get a 9 to 5, reinvest it all into e-commerce, and then just scale my business as much as I can, and eventually leave my 9 to 5. That's the ultimate goal: is to be fully self-dependent, work from anywhere. Right? The taxes here in Norway are extremely big. Here we have 25% VAT and currently 25% corporate tax, and it's gonna keep going up the more you make. So my goal is just to make a brand and go to some country where there is no tax, because here it's gonna be impossible to make a lot of money here. But
Mhm.
that's the long term goal. So I don't know how long that's gonna take. It might take 5 years, might take 10 years. I'm really in it for the long game. So if it really does take that long, I don't really care. I wake up every day and go, how can I get better? How can I solve more problems, do better things? I don't care if it takes 10 years. I'm going to make it eventually, anyways.
Very solid. What advice would you actually have to someone who's fairly new to ecom then? Since you've succeeded in a way by making 15,000 in profit, I'd consider that quite a good success. So yeah, any advice to people starting out in e-commerce?
I think
I
that
love that.
e-commerce is, yeah, I think it's an extremely ruthless business model in the sense that the hard data or the numbers, they'll prove if your product is bad or if your advertisement is bad. And I think that if you just take those into consideration and understand the numbers and understand, okay, my product was bad, my advertisement was bad, go again, go again, go again. You can't expect to just people join the campus and they ask the professor and the captains really dumb questions. I never answer to them, but I sometimes I just laugh at them because they're like, "Oh, how can I make 1 million in a month? How can I? I want to start e-commerce right now and make it in 2 weeks." And it's a really dumb mindset because in e-commerce, it's all about testing, right? Testing is the name of the game. You need to test things over and over and over until you find something that sticks, and then really double down on that and scale that.
Mhm.
And the problem is that if you have a mindset of this is just going to be a quick side hustle, or I'm going to do this fast, um, without actually putting in the consistent work, you're just going to struggle and you're going to lose at the end of the day because you're going to end up testing your first product, testing your first ad. It's not going to work. And then you're just going to get quote unquote demotivated and then you're going to quit. And that'll be the end of it. I mean, so many people are adding me every single day when I actually post in the Wins channel like once every 2 weeks or something. So when I do post, I get a lot of friend requests from the real world students. And when they add me, they always ask very, very dumb questions like, can you give me motivation? I don't have any motivation to do the work. I'm sitting in my bed and watching the courses from my phone. Should I implement this? Like, extremely stuff like this I can't really relate to because it's a mindset problem. And I think that if you just fix your mindset and you understand that you need to be in it for the long game and it's all about testing and it's all about doing consistent work, you're going to make it anyways. And I really recommend getting into the gym and trying to build a better physique and a better body because that's going to transform your mentality as well, because building a good physique and a good body, it will take you 4 or 5 years, right, to do it naturally, which you should do, by the way. You should never do anything unnaturally because it's just bad for your health. Anyways, if you go into the gym and you really work consistently every single day, you're going to go there, you're going to see no results in like 6 months, you're going to see no results in like 7 months, 8 months, whatever. And that's going to teach your brain delayed gratification and understanding that things that are very valuable take a lot of time. And this is a thing that isn't even known nowadays. Everyone wants things super quick, alcohol, drugs, all these things. They're just quick dopamine, quick fun stuff. Scrolling, for example, quick, quick, quick. So nobody understands to put in the work consistently, day after day after day, to achieve something that's extremely valuable. Even my friends at university, they ask me really dumb questions like, this business model you're running, is it easy? And it's just like, how can you ask a question like, is it easy? That's a really dumb question because if business was easy, everyone would be doing it. It wouldn't have any value. So that's one of those things that really helped me in the real world, was improving my mindset and understanding that things take time and require consistent work.
Damn. Quite a success story. I love listening to all of that, Caesar. Awesome to see the mindset you have because it's something a lot of people strive for. And with that mindset, man, will be interesting to see just how far you go because this is just the beginning for you. Okay,
Exactly.
so we'll be doing follow up interviews to document your progress. And if you want, I'd say hold you accountable, but do you really need the accountability?
Man,
Maybe,
I
maybe
hold
not.
myself accountable every
There you
single
go.
day when I wake up.
That's what it sounds like to me as well.
Yeah.
All right. So, final question is for people who are unsure about joining the real world because they get scammed for $50 and you're clearly a paid actor. What advice would you have to them?
I think that those $50 is something you would spend on a quick night out, or I don't know, buying groceries or whatever. I think that if you just are tired of being broke and you just want to give it a shot and you think that you can achieve something greater, you really, really should join, because $50 is nothing. It's quick money you use on groceries, on anything really. So you don't really lose anything by trying, but do not have the mindset of I'm gonna make quick money, because that's not what the real world is. You need to put in the time and you need to put in the work, but the results that you are going to see are going to be completely life changing. I can guarantee you that if you just put in the work.
Very good answer. I completely agree. And now, for people who want to find out more about you or contact you, where can they do so?
You can follow you on Instagram, Caesar A underscore 01. And you can also contact me on the real world.
Okay. Just Caesar in the real world, right?
Exactly. Caesar in the real world. Join the
All
e-commerce.
right.
You'll see me there.
Awesome. So, Caesar, look forward to seeing your progress and the follow up interview. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm sure some people have been inspired by just hearing your mindset, how you deal with things. And as I said, they probably strive to be like you. So, this is a good, they'll have a good role model now after having listened to you. And let's see how far you come in the next. I mean, however long we'll be doing follow ups, we can do next one in 3 to 4 months, and then after that, just keep doing them every 4 months or so, and document everything until you become a millionaire. Easy, probably won't even take too
That's
long.
the goal.
But there
That's
you
the goal
go.
today.
Cool, cool. All right, so Caesar, great to meet you. Great to speak to you, and I wish you all the best. Until next time.
Thank you very much, Rokas. Goodbye.